Foreign nationals in Thailand should be aware of the prevalence of romance scams, which are deceptive schemes that exploit their victims' emotional vulnerability for financial gain. Scammers operate across various platforms, including online dating sites or apps, social media, supposedly reputable matchmaking services, or even just in person at a bar or other social gathering. Scammers cultivate relationships with victims under false pretenses and fake personas, sometimes using online dating platforms and social media to find victims. They aim to establish trust and affection between themselves and the victim, making it easier to exploit the victim's desire for companionship. Once an emotional connection is established, scammers usually begin to request money from the victim for various fraudulent and false reasons. How do romance scams work? While there are many ways a romance scam can operate, most include many of the same basic elements. Create the illusion. Romance scammers aim to present the image of an ideal partner, sometimes creating elaborate backstories to make them more credible and appear more successful, caring, or attractive. Online scammers may use fake profiles, often using stolen photos. They target foreigners seeking companionship and exploit their victims' trust, as well as capitalize on Thailand's reputation as a friendly place with easygoing locals. Build trust and connection. Scammers quickly build trust and affection with victims by providing a sense of comfort and security. They may shower victims with compliments, share seemingly personal stories, and move the relationship quickly toward emotional dependence. They may also express feelings of love relatively early in the relationship. Request for money. Once a strong emotional connection and a sense of trust are established, the scammer will recount a fabricated story expressing a need for money. These requests take many forms, including medical emergency. The scammer says they need funds to cover medical expenses or help an ill family member. Investment scam. The scammer pressures the victim to invest large sums of money in fake stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency schemes, or business ventures. Business emergency. The scammer concocts a story about their business needing urgent financial help. This could involve repaying a loan, recovering from a bad deal, or needing funds sent to a specific bank or country. Travel scam. When a meeting or international trip is planned, the scammer might request money for travel costs or a visa with no intention of following through. They will keep the funds and fabricate a reason why the trip isn't possible, like a visa rejection. Sextortion. The scammer tricks the victim into sending explicit images or videos and then uses them as blackmail to extort money. This is often accompanied by threats to publish the media online or send them to the victim's friends, family, or employer. Isolation and pressure. Scammers often exploit the sense of isolation some foreigners experience in Thailand. This makes it easier to separate victims from friends and family who might raise red flags. They use pressure tactics, guilt trips, or pleas of love to motivate the victim to send money quickly, often through untraceable methods. Repeat the cycle. If the victim sends money for the first scam, the scammer will likely invent another reason to request more. The cycle of abuse continues until the victim realizes they've been scammed, or the scammer disappears and cuts off communication. Damages and losses from a romance scam. Losses from romance scams can include the following. Financial loss. Financial loss is the most common consequence of romance scams. Scammers emotionally manipulate the victim's judgment, leading them to send money for fake emergencies, invest in false businesses, or cover non-existent travel costs. Emotional distress. Victims may experience shame, loneliness, anxiety, and loss of trust after being emotionally and financially manipulated by a romance scammer. Identity theft. Scammers exploit trust to steal personal information like social security numbers and bank details, which they can then use for fraudulent purposes. Asset theft. Scammers may manipulate the victim into transferring ownership of large property, or abuse the victim's trust in order to steal smaller valuables like jewelry. Legal trouble. Victims who unknowingly participate in illegal activities can face legal consequences. What to do as the victim of a romance scam? If you've fallen victim to a romance scam, it's crucial to take quick action to protect yourself. Here's how to protect yourself from romance scams. Report the scam. Contact the Thai Tourist Police at 1155 or the Anti-Online Scam Operations Center AOC at 1441 to report the scam and potentially recover funds. Protect your finances. Victims should contact their bank's fraud department to prevent further losses and explore possible recovery options. Gather evidence. Save all messages, transfers, receipts, and documents related to the scam. Seek legal counsel. Victims should consult with a lawyer to understand their legal options in Thailand. Siam Legal is a law firm with over 20 years of experience and offers expert fraud support to help recover lost funds and navigate victims' rights.